What's up, guys? We're back here with our daily BSLT update. We're also going to go over some economy things as well, so more to include not just this crazy decrease in BSLT, 46 cents. So we're finally seeing a crack in the armor here. The price of the BSLT going down. This is what I foresaw happening before the pre-sale packages were announced, and that announcement happened. It didn't happen instantly. But today we've seen a nice decline in BSLT. This is bad for anyone who's holding or playing the game, obviously, but I'm happy because this is what I anticipated to have happened, and I think we might get down into the 30s. So my range was about the 35 cents is where I think it might settle down. The play to earn event that they are coming out is good to bring in possibly new players, but they need to advertise it. But overall, this price needed to go down. Like, BSLT was still too high. We'll touch upon why I think this was still too high. And it has to do with the connection to the land. So land prices are also slowly starting to go down some. Land was as high as about 3,000 clay for a small land. And this was just astronomical. Like, 3,000 clay for a small land and like 5,000 clay for a medium land was just... It's nuts, very, very nuts. But the reason the prices were so high was because the BSLT price was so high, which means the land has to be more valuable. Like, as the BSLT price rises, owning land just becomes way more profitable. Because even at these current low levels, so we'll take a look at the labor levels, the labor pot levels, and then the Archeum levels. Like, if you own your land, for one, you never have to pay any taxes, so you own it straight and clear. So the only thing that you're paying is paying off the quote-unquote mortgage that you bought the land. So if you buy the land for, we'll say $500, and so all you have to do is make your $500 back, right? You don't have to pay any taxes, there's no other fees. So every day you can make, a labor potion. Every day you're going to get a minimum of about 2,200 labor, and then you're also going to get about 1,000 Archeum every single day by logging in twice a day with your machines. The bigger the land, the more Archeum, the more labor that you're going to produce. The better quality of beds and stuff that you're going to have. You're going to get more Archeum and more labor, etc. But just on the basics, a very, very basic of a small land with a tent, which gives you one bed and one Archeum machine, you can make, I like to round down. You can make one labor pot a day, and you can use your Archeum machine, every single 12 hours. So it comes out to essentially, you can make 3 bundles of Archeum and 30 labor pots. You can make, give or take, a little bit more or less, depending on if you miss out some times logging in and so forth. But that's a nice little basis. So you can make 3 bundles of Archeum, so 30,000 Archeum, and 30 labor pots to sell. So if you look at the labor pots and you look at the Archeum, how much they're selling for, you can see if it's worthwhile to rent or if it's worthwhile to buy NFTs and farm these things. And so even at these small prices, so the prices have gone down. The prices of labor pots are down to about 6 BSLT right now. You can see it's trending down. Like, the land was so valuable when these labor pots were selling for like 10 and 15 BSLT. The land was so valuable. Like, you pretty much got your money back within like 2 months, 1.5 months of buying a land. Like, it was just nutso. And then the land prices, the NFT prices, were so cheap that like it ended up working out to you could like 8 times your money in a year. So if the prices stayed the same, the land prices were so cheap. And then as BSLT rose, it made that return on investment just even greater. So all these things factoring together, if BSLT is high, if the labor pots are high, if Archeum price is high, owning land becomes way more valuable. And then also if the land prices go down, and then that also increases your ROI. So, when I calculated at one point, it was 8 times your money per year for simply logging in twice a day and clicking a couple buttons. Like, literally, that's nutso. That's insane. Like, that's why these prices had to change, and that's why I was like, the BSLT's got to go down. Like, BSLT cannot stay high. The land prices has to go up, because if you can make 8 times your money by buying these land NFTs, simply logging in twice a day for a year, who wouldn't want to make 8 times their money? Most people want to make like double their money in a year. If you can double your money every year, we talked about this before, that's an insane amount of return. So if you're 8 timesing your money in a year, and then not even to factor in the fact that you can plant crops, so you can plant trees and ores and other things, you can do that as well. You also have extra, labor pots and extra Archeum to get as well. Like, the returns are just so ridiculous on this. So even with these prices, the returns are still really great. So like I said, you factor in 30 labor pots. So that's going to put you at 150, because I like to round down these numbers, right? So you're going to make 150 BSLT, and then the Archeum, you're going to make, you get 3 of these guys, and they're selling for, we'll say 60. So you round down because of the taxes and the fees, so another 150. So that means in total per month, you're going to make 300 BSLT if these prices stay the same. So that's actually a pretty good return on investment already. 300 BSLT just for logging in twice a day is pretty nuts. And so like people ask, should you rent? And I mean, honestly, I want to say no to them, because the more people that are renting, the less valuable all this stuff becomes. But just the numbers, if they do the numbers, if they do the math, you see the rent is 202 and you make approximately 300, probably a little bit more. Prices can go down, and as more people do this, prices will go down, most likely. But we're seeing a nice little floor happen in the labor pots. So labor pots are holding steady around this 6 BSLT. And I think it's holding steady there because people need labor to open up the Rift bags. And the bags are very expensive. They're like, 120, 150, 180. I think even the bigger one is maybe 300 or something. I haven't got a big one in a long, long time. So these bags are very, very expensive. If you're a free-to-play player, you don't have that labor. And even if you are a paying player, it's still a lot of labor. And, you might be using it for other things as well. So labor pots, they're always going to be useful. They're not going to be zero. Even if the entire server is filled with people, farming and has houses, I don't think this is going to go down to 1 BSLT, because if it's so cheap, someone's going to buy them up and use that labor to make more money elsewhere. Right now, opening up the Rift bags is better. You can see they can open up the Rift bags and they can sell cores. So they have core shards, which are now worth almost 3 BSLT each. And then the full core is about 100 BSLT each. So opening the bags will get you some decent return on investment. 1 labor pot is 1,500 labor. If the bag takes 100 labor, that means you can open up 15 of these bags. So if every bag you get a shard, which I think that's what they kind of do. Again, I haven't opened any of these bags, so I could be completely wrong on the shard drop rate. But let's say you get 1 shard out of every bag. And so you can open 15 bags. Now 15 times 3, that puts you at 45 BSLT. And the labor pot only cost you 6. So you're already profiting 39 BSLT. Plus you've got other stuff. You might even get a core. You might get a full core out of that. So the people that are getting the bags now are definitely buying the labor pots to open them, especially if they're free-to-play players. This is a great cycle for free-to-play players, is that they can get the bags from the bosses, and then if they don't have the labor, they simply buy the labor pots, and it's actually profitable for them to do this. So labor pots cannot go, infinitely lower. They can't go to 1, I don't think. There will be more labor sinks in the future. You can also potentially get higher cores in the bigger bags in the mega boss drop box. So it's a really nice system, and I do think that it will continue to grow and be very profitable. The big problem in why the BSLT price I think is going down is just the fatigue is setting in. There's no new content. Content needs to be added. They are really, really slacking on the content schedule and adding stuff. They don't have to add a lot, okay? They're adding an event next week. We don't know if it's just simply grind mobs and just they drop a ticket now. But the ticket's going to be ultra rare, right? Because the ticket is an NFT land. It's a small land NFT. So the ticket cannot be very common. The event should have actually been a fragmented event where like you have to collect 100 of these tickets and then you could sell the tickets. That would have been a better event, but they didn't do that route. They went just get a ticket. So what they should have done, in my opinion, is they should have dropped shards. So like this. But I think this makes it harder for them to track on bots and macro users. So with the drop rate being really, really rare. So I've always said that like, the drop rate's going to be like 1 in a million. You shouldn't expect to get it. It's just going to be super ultra rare, right? And so at the end, they said they're going to check all the accounts that have the tickets for botting, macros, cheating, etc., right? So if there's only like 50 winners, it's a lot easier to check. Whereas if they give out a bunch of shards and they make it super easy and all you have to do is sell and trade the shards, then they can't really patrol on all the bots. And anyone who is macroing and auto farming, like they still can kill them and delete them, but it's going to be more problematic for the economy. So I think that's why they did it as a full ticket drop rather than a shard drop. But I would prefer these events to be a shard drop, and then so that promotes trading on the auction house. So like you either like, okay, I'm going to collect 100 pieces, 100 shards to get my land NFT, or I'm going to sell these tickets. But first, they definitely need to deal with the bots. If you looked at the Let's Play series, or if you've just logged into the game and played in any of the zones and the level 30 plus zones, you've seen there's just tons and tons of bots. And I think we finally figured out what the heck the bots are doing to make BSLT money. So there's a new trick. I think it's family. So the family certificate. This right here, the bots are converting all the gold that they get into family certificates from the general merchant, and then they're selling them on the auction house for some BSLT. Because like you do get like 200, 300 gold or so just for leveling your character up and progressing through the things. And you'll notice that a lot of these have actually been selling because for the higher end merchant players like myself, if you need gold, you got to buy it off the auction house. Like you're going to run out of gold. Like if you list something for 100 BSLT or 200 BSLT or 1,000 BSLT, like your gold drains out. And so you need gold. So turning 1 BSLT or 2 BSLT into 50 gold is a really good ratio. Before, all that we were doing was buying, Archeum, and we were selling this. So this was 1 BSLT for 1750. And now there's these family certificates, which are selling for, 1.5 BSLT for 50 gold. So they're doing that now, and they're buying these items from the NBC and then selling them so they can sell their gold. And then they're also selling, obviously, 4-tier weapons and armors, mainly just the weapons because the weapons are completely free. So they're doing this again, and you can see everything is back to 1 BSLT. Very, very nice for new players because you can simply spend 1 BSLT, get a nice weapon. Like, I actually really like the fact that these weapons are so cheap, because it allows you to pick and choose like the stats that you want. So there's the bonus stats. And so like you want to find one that fits your class and does bonus for your class. And then you also want to look for greens and blues in the bonus stats to get better stats there. So having these at 1 BSLT is definitely really, really nice. It makes it so much easier to progress in the game. But then unfortunately, it goes into that thing. If you purchased all your weapons, so if you purchased 3 weapons for 3 BSLT, and now you have tier 4 weapons with some really good substats, and you're ready to play the game, like you're so OP compared to the monsters that you're fighting. You're gonna rush through the content and blaze through everything, and then you're gonna run out of content to do. So that's the problem. At least with the free-to-play account, we are still, slowly but surely making our way. We're at like level 35 or something like that. And we still have a ton of content to do, actually, because we have to work for it. We have to earn all our gear. We have to, earn our BSLT. And it prolongs the life of the game right now. Without them having more content and more things to do, the players that have paid obviously get into the fatigue of like, okay, there's nothing to do, raid bosses, okay, we go fight, we go die to the pay-to-win players, no fun, we can't get the mega bosses, yada, yada, yada. Like, it just, the fatigue comes in where you can't beat the number 1 player or the number 2 player in the server. The number one player, actually, we have to touch on this too, actually got a tier 6 weapon now. So he spent almost 1 million Archeum to upgrade his tier 5 weapon to tier 6. And now, I mean, look at this thing. This thing is a beast. 5,415 equipment points. And he's already starting to, upgrade it a little bit more. He's already in heroic. So how much? It looks like it needs 2.2 million XP to go to the next level. So that's 2.2 million Archeum. Crazy. And I heard that he's ancestral level 10 right now, probably higher by now. Like, yeah, it is insane how strong this player is. Like, whew. But yeah, it's content. So a lot of people are very excited and very hyped for this game because it's coming out and people are talking about it. Be like, this is the best blockchain game out there. There is no other play to earn games that even come close to this level of content and playability and actual like gameplay. Like most blockchain games are freaking manual clickers that you click and you auto farm stuff, like log in every 6 hours or every 12 hours and click a button. This actually has gameplay. This actually is a game. And yeah, it is probably hands down the best play to earn game on the market. And there's no other game coming that is even close to this amount of gameplay. So even though it looks really bad from, like we touched on this before, this looks really bad from an MMO player standpoint. From someone who came from ArcAge or any other MMO, like, and has never and is jumping into Archeworld, they're like, there's nothing to do, and that's very true. Like compared to the other games out there, like those games have tons more content, tons more activities to do. But when you're coming from the crypto world and you're coming from those games, you're like, whoa, this game has a million things to do. It's insane. There's like so many things. I'm lost. It's so confusing. It's too complex. Like. That's the different worlds that you see. You see the crypto gamers who are coming in, or the crypto dudes coming in, and they're like, wow, this thing is crazy. So that's why I think the price is not going to crater back down to, like, say, 10 cents on the blue salts. I mean, it definitely could. The price could go down on blue salts. But I don't think so, because just like the quality level of the game is so much better than anything out on the market. We definitely should see a correction. And 35 cents is probably about where I think it's going to go for the next couple of days, weeks, is my guess. 30s, in the 30 range. I mean, I might be a buyer back in the 30s. And yeah, that's just my personal opinion on this. Like I said, I was a seller. I sold stuff at 53, 57. Right there, that's where I sold 6,000 BSLT. But we're still, constantly earning BSLT on game and, chugging away. And even at these prices. So the land price is still really, really, cheap, honestly. So land has gone down. Land, the cheapest small one, is $445. And I think this is in anticipation for the events, because everyone knows more land is going to be given out for free. So obviously the prices of land should go down, right? When there's more supply, like that's what happens. It's just like, okay, there's more supply, there's going to be more competition selling. We need more demand for buying. When it gets cheaper, there might be a little bit more demand. Someone might gobble them up. If the price goes down to like 350 or 300, we might have some new buyers that come in and be like, oh, this is super cheap, I'm going to buy it. But here's to say, so $445, why I think this is still very, very cheap. So we touched upon this earlier in the video. Per month on that small land, you can make 300 BSLT. So 300 BSLT, I'll go back to the portal here, is approximately 1/3 of this. So that means you're going to make approximately $150 at the current price per month off of just logging in and doing a click here and a click there for your labor and for your Archeum. Literally nothing else. So 150, and if you do that for 12 months, that means you end up having $1,800. So even still, $1,800 off of a $445 purchase is, what is that? 4x? It's 4x. 4.04. That is insane returns on investment. Like, literally insane. You would have to be insane to pass up a 4x. But of course, these prices are not guaranteed. BSLT could go down. The prices of labor and prices of Archeum could go down. So if those things go down, then it makes the return less. As the land price goes down, the returns will go up though. So everything is connected. And then if you do think that the game will be around here for 5 years, land is literally a no-brainer. Like, even if the prices do go up or down, like, you still have this NFT too. So unless the game completely dies and shuts down the servers and there's no more Archeworld, right? This NFT will have some value. So say you buy it today for $445. You play, you don't like the game after like 2 months, 3 months, and you decide to sell. So you're like, I'm gonna sell it at whatever the cheapest price is. Say you sell it at $1,500. You sell it for $300 and something dollars. By that point, you've probably made money also because you've cashed out some of that BSLT. Like, the fact that you still have an asset that you can sell is insane. So not only on top of that BSLT that you're generating just by logging in and clicking, every 12 hours, and not even doing farming. Like, you can make more by farming too. So if you spend more time in farm, or if you spend more time in game doing activities, crafting, converting things, like, it's still mind-blowing that you can make a 4x return on land. And yeah, like, people just really, really think that the game is going to die in like a month or 2 months or 3 months. Like, people really, really think that. A lot of people do. We're starting to see comments that are people like, yeah, I was wrong. I was bullish, or I was bearish on the token. I was bearish on the game. And now I'm coming around like, yeah, the game's going to be, here for a while. Like, I think I don't know what's going to happen. Like, so people are turning their perception around. Some people. And once we get new content, I think we'll see a lot more people be like, whoa, this game actually has legs. I think that's the problem right now. So right now things are in decline because there is no new content, and they've been like radio silent on the new content. They haven't done an AMA in 3 months. The mods do not really communicate in the Discord. There's just no communication, like very, very small communication from XL Games at all. And like, that's something that is standard from them. They were always terrible at communication, but like, this is the new batch of people. This is the crypto crowd, right? So they don't know how bad they are at communicating, and they don't know, like, this is normal for them. Like, they're coming from other games where, like, the other game companies, they don't produce updates or content, but they talk to the community. They do random little mini games and, posts and things like that. They engage the community because they're all trying to just pump up their token. So like, that's the whole point of the companies, of those mods and everything in those games. They're just like, we're trying to pump up our token. And so they're communicating a lot because they just want people to buy. Where here, it's like, it's the opposite. The XL Games doesn't really care about their token. They're trying to, like, fix game issues and fix bots and kill hacks and issues that are arising. So like, it seems like they may be more focused on the gameplay aspect and doing the back end stuff, customer service, because they're getting probably 100 to 1,000 tickets or so a day. Like, not 100,000, but like 100 to 1,000 tickets a day of support. Like, this one person said they sent in their 4th like support ticket, like on the same issue. And it's like, you don't want to send in multiple tickets on the same issue. Like, if you don't like the answer they give you, you could potentially try to talk to a supervisor, but the answer is most likely going to be the same, and you just have to accept the answer that they give you. Like, I don't know. I mean, I would hate to work in customer support, honestly. But yep, this is the BSLT update today. So we are at 46 cents still. It looks like everything is on a slight decline right now, which I'm happy for. I want prices to go down. Like, I do want the land prices also to go down some, actually, so I can buy some more. I want to be greedy on that. But yeah, the BSLT token price should go down because if the token price is so high, it prevents people from joining the game, right? So if they see like the token's so high and it takes like $500 to enjoy the game or to start the game, it's bad. That's why the beginner package was really good. But now the beginner package is a lot worse because the token price is below 50 cents. So, they might not sell that many more beginner packages anymore. They still can because it's a credit card. And jumping through all the hoops, we touched upon this, jumping through all the crypto swap hoops, and for a newbie, for a new player that has not done crypto swaps or any of that, that's like 2 to 3 days worth of work trying to figure all that stuff out. Like, that's how long it took me to figure out the crypto swapping system. And like, I don't even feel comfortable enough telling people like how to do it. That's why I haven't made any videos or guides or tutorials on that, because like I'm nowhere near an expert on that. And if anything, I would tell people to buy the beginner's package. Like, I don't care if the token's 35 cents and you've never done any crypto swaps or anything before. I still don't care. Just buy this beginner's package. Like, yeah, don't do crypto swaps. You're going to end up making mistakes. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose money on the transaction fees and all the BS taxes and fees that there is in crypto. And you might even just screw it up royally and send it to a fake wallet or get scammed and lose it all. Like, that has happened quite a bit. People don't realize that scams are very, very common in crypto world. Like, yeah, the education needs to be way more like there. Like, there needs to be more education on how to protect yourself in the crypto world, because it's so easy to get scammed out of all your tokens and all your wallet stuff. Like, don't click on any links. If you are in the crypto world, like, literally do not click on any links that are not official links, like in public channels, because most likely 9 out of 10 times those links that someone DMs you or sends in private is a scam link, and they're going to try and steal your wallet, steal all your assets, steal your tokens, steal your NFTs. And if you click on those links, they can steal your stuff, and there's nothing anyone can do to get your stuff back. Like, if you click on the links and be like, yeah, I wanna win this prize, or thanks for giving me this free NFT or this free BSLT or whatever they're trying to scam you with. If you click the button and it says, yes, I want to transfer my items, and you click yes, all your stuff is gone. Like, they have everything. They steal it all from you. So you have to be extremely careful with all the crypto stuff. Anyway, guys, that is it for the update here of the economy. I will talk to you guys later. Do you think the price will still go up, or do you think the price is going to, go down some more? Let me know where you think BSLT is heading in the next couple of days.